Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code Ahsoka in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the Force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have an update into the regards of The Mandalorian Season 4, if it's getting turned into a Star Wars movie instead of releasing over on Disney+, what we can anticipate and expect to see with The Mandalorian Season 4, and how it may play into the THRAWN movie, Dave Filoni's Cultimation Mandoverse movie that was announced at the beginning of this year at Star Wars Celebration, and or also Ahsoka Season 2, the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, potentially, possibly, also Star Wars Skeleton Crew as well. We're going to go ahead and discuss all that right now. In this video, we are going to be taking a read from the Direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Before we go ahead and get started, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel, so if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button and join us here today. I do feel that this is going to hopefully be my final video onto the regards of this overall subject of that The Mandalorian Season 4 is being rewritten or rescripted into a movie instead of being released as a show over on Disney+. I think though, however, that this sets up many other pathways that we could see for the future of the franchise, with really specifically the rest of the Mandoverse, the Ahsoka show, the THRAWN movie, and the Book of Boba Fett, also Skeleton Crew as well, that's coming out a little bit later next year in 2024. The recent rumors claim that Season 4 of The Mandalorian is no longer Disney+ bound and releasing as a show, and that it would much rather have been actually rewritten into a movie. Mind you, rumors, so do take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to come out up front and say there's no really specific sources or credible sources, I think, at that are really backing up this overall claim and these rumors all that much. It's just something I feel that's kind of spawned out of thin air to a point. There have been other sources though, however, that are quite reputable when it comes to those kind of things for Star Wars leaks, that they're being MakingStarWars.com and Bespin Bulletin, StarWarsNewsNet.com. All those guys are absolutely great. Those are the ones that have a majority have been doing the reporting on this overall, a little bit of a rumor, I think, even at that. But even then, there aren't any other like bigger sources out there like Deadline or The Hollywood Reporter that have been discussing or talking anything about that. So very much do take it with a grain of salt. I think that it has no reason to be turned into a Mandalorian Season 4, having it be turned into a movie, and I don't think that it makes any sense, I think, even at that at the end of the day. In the years since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker had left theaters nearly almost 4 or 5 years ago, The Mandalorian has largely been focused of the Star Wars franchise, with its ongoing seasons and an ever-expanding Mandoverse of the post-Return of the Jedi era, as we know and love as the Mandoverse, of its connected spin-off shows as well on Disney+, like Ahsoka, Book of Boba, and Skeleton Crew. However, recent Lucasfilm developments, coupled with an underwhelming viewership for The Mandalorian's most recent season, its third season, had recently sparked speculation about the studio's intentions for the show's upcoming fourth season, and that, well, the House of Mouse being Disney, that they are looking specifically at the numbers and how it's performing and how they might want to mix it around instead because of the way it had recently performed at its last kind of take with The Mandalorian Season 3. The Mandalorian Season 3 by any means didn't perform, I think, in those aspects, but when you compare it and pin it against its previous seasons, The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2, its viewership numbers weren't necessarily there all that much. So the question is kind of posed as to why do Star Wars fans think that The Mandalorian Season 4 is going to be turned into a movie? The theory that The Mandalorian Season 4 will be turned into the next Star Wars movie has its roots in Star Wars Celebration 2023, when Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy had announced Star Wars was finally going to be returning to theaters with 3 new revealed Star Wars movies, including the Dave Filoni Cultimation Mandoverse movie, or also known as the THRAWN movie. To clarify, that THRAWN movie is separate from what we're discussing about The Mandalorian Season 4 turning into a movie. Alongside that, we have James Mangold and his Dawn of the Jedi kind of movie that is going to exploring the creation of the Jedi Order and how the Jedi and the overall Republic kind of came to be. And then the third one also being the Rey Skywalker Return movie, set 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker, having Daisy Ridley return in the titular role as well. I'm honestly very excited for that movie. And so, as I had touched on there, among the trio of films Kathleen Kennedy announced was a Mandalorian crossover movie, or also known as this Cultimation movie, something in comparison to what the Avengers are for Marvel, by which, if you are a Marvel fan, we have our Marvel channel linked in the description down below, helmed by The Mandalorian and Ahsoka showrunner Dave Filoni, and confirming that the Mandoverse would no longer be limited to streaming all that much. This quite bombshelled news was followed by The Mandalorian Season 3 finale, which left audiences quite disappointed to a point, confused and even concerned about the show's future. To say the least though, The Mandalorian Season 3 finale wasn't the best, and it certainly wasn't the worst. It could have been better, it could have been worse kind of scenario. So during the recent Hollywood strikes earlier this year, speculation of Season 4 of The Mandalorian being reconsidered as a big screen feature had jumped to light speed, thanks to the rumors and unverified reports claiming just that, by which I am kind of one of those. I don't really verify or say that they are going to be doing this. I'm not claiming it. I'm just here kind of reporting on what we're hearing to specify, to be clear about that. And so now, returning Disney CEO Bob Iger's intentions to decrease the streaming output and to focus on event films only had lent the credence to these claims, especially since a switch in mediums could also make a financial sense as well. Not only has speculation continued to circulate, but it is also seemingly reinforced when Lucasfilm named Dave Filoni as Chief Creative Officer, tasking him with the future of the creative decisions done for Star Wars television and movies and giving him further control, acting as almost this Kevin Feige-like figure but for Star Wars. Also, in comparison and contrast, it would be cheaper for Lucasfilm to output a new Mandalorian-centric movie much rather than making another, 8 episodes for another season of the show instead. Although, do remember, it is about the story at the end of the day. Although the House of Mouse and the way that they play their cards, it might not always kind of turn out that way, unfortunately. Still though, it's important to note that Dave Filoni's Mandoverse movie is his only movie in development. Meanwhile, Season 4 of The Mandalorian, which was supposed to begin filming in October, just 2 months ago before those Hollywood strikes took place, is expected to begin its production and filming in early 2024, around February now, and that it is sticking to a show much rather than a movie. I think that we would have definitely caught wind of its scripts being, rewritten or something of that nature, or a delay in its filming and its production for The Mandalorian Season 4 before we ever even heard about any of these other news, like when it was going to be filming in February of next year, and with all of that there as well. There just isn't enough common sense, I think, even at that, for it to really back that The Mandalorian Season 4 is going to be a movie. Since The Mandalorian Season 3 did struggle although, and in light of Disney's string of box office flops, reimagining the show's 4th season as a film could accomplish several other things for the studio. For instance, Mando and Grogu on the big screen would likely be a box office draw, and a breath of new life into the narrative as well. Plus, a film would give Dave Filoni a dry run ahead of his Mandoverse culmination event, which is supposed to be something as big as an Avengers level kind of movie, as I had mentioned, while giving Star Wars audiences a film sooner rather than Daisy Ridley's Star Wars movie, which isn't expected until 2026. So given that all that has transpired with Star Wars throughout 2023, the speculation is understandable. However, there's a few problems and concerns with the theory as well at the same time. A part of the lack of confirmation from Lucasfilm for one, I think that this is something that they would have kind of planned out a little bit further ahead and have announced at Star Wars Celebration actually. There is yet to be any other evidence supporting the claim aside from a few rumors and speculations here and there. Not only a Season 4 slated to begin filming in the coming months in the new year, but also before Season 3 premiered, Jon Favreau had claimed that he's already done writing Season 4 of The Mandalorian, and at a time of when he surely would have known about Filoni's upcoming jump to the theatrical slate of things, they would have pre-planned everything a whole lot earlier. We would have now just been caught wind of it. That just doesn't make sense. There's also the fact that The Mandalorian is well known for its serialized format, to be honest. Changing the formula ahead of its culmination event film would be a huge gamble, and likely one neither Disney or Lucasfilm would be in favor of. This all being said though, guys, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. The Mandalorian Season 4 isn't being turned into a movie, it's sticking to Disney Plus and sticking to as a show. This all being said, guys, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What are you guys looking forward to seeing with the future of the Mandoverse with Star Wars and The Mandalorian Season 4? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.